Sure you've been bit when you've been trying to do somebody a favor before. He was trying to do him a favor.
I just think of like I'm good at this, right? I've talked to a lot of attorneys. I've known a lot of attorneys.
And you need to have insurance. I've always carried really heavy insurance.
Like the first lawyers, basically took 50 grand and, got nothing accomplished for almost, 14, 15 months. Finally we found, a decent accounting firm to do our accounting, and we opened our second fund and then our third fund, right? And then we hit a wall legally, right? Because you can only allow so many people to invest that are
Right.
non-accredited, right? And so
You've got private placement rules, you got all kinds of stuff. That's a very specialized area in the law, Dutch. And you need a good attorney who can do that. I couldn't do that. So
I went on this journey to find the next attorneys or different things, and I'll tell you, it was tough. It was tough to find, to open our REIT and begin, our what we call a Reg A, our, current investment vehicle for our investors and our students.
Right.
It was tough. And I just think of like, I'm good at this, right? I've talked to a lot of attorneys. I've known a lot of attorneys. I have attorneys that are friends.
I'm sorry.
And at the same time, like the first lawyers, basically took 50 grand and, got nothing accomplished for almost, 14, 15 months. The second set of attorneys, I was lucky in the sense that they were able to get us, qualified with the SEC and get through the regulatory bodies and those kind of things. And then that poor guy was one of the people in my life who got COVID and got really sick. And so we had to go, and he was a solo practitioner, right? And so we had to go and find another, attorneys to do all the submissions and everything else during COVID. And so in the middle of COVID, we were left, trying to find a new law firm to handle, the legal side of things. And so, yeah, it's like when I come with some experience. So as a normal person trying to figure out asset protection or trying to figure that, it's difficult, man. Even today, do I really still, even though I have trusts and I have, different things set up for me and my family, or different health insurances, or different, insurances on the business, or different things, do I really know what the best part is? I don't know. I really don't know.
With asset protection, there isn't any really best part.
Yeah.
It all comes together, and you mentioned insurance. Insurance is a huge asset protection tool, and you need to have insurance. I've always carried really heavy insurance. It's not that much more to carry a great policy than it is to just carry a normal policy. So get the great insurance. It saves your skinny more often than not. And then if the insurance, if somehow it gets through the insurance, or the insurance doesn't cover it, then we can do it. I mean, I've got a friend, and his wife is one of the best business structuring attorneys in the state. He has this great business that he spent his whole life putting together, and now his sons are operating in the business, and they're paying him a little bit each year, and that's his retirement. They're buying him out. And he's a real estate investor. I mean, you know that one, Dutch. And the wife didn't put together the real estate and the business. And he has a piece of property in the south end of town, and last Christmas, week before Christmas, he had a problem with this piece of property. A couple had come to him about 6-8 months earlier, and they were basically homeless, and there was this kind of guard shack on the piece of property, and they said, can we rent the guard shack and live in it? And he says, yeah, okay. I mean, he was doing him a favor. I'm sure you've been bit when you've been trying to do somebody a favor before. He was trying to do him a favor. And in the meantime, that phone is on silent, and I have no idea why it keeps ringing. I am sorry.
You're fine. We can edit and cut, my friend. That's the cool part. So
so I have no idea why it's doing that. But at any rate, he's got this couple living in the guard shack, and in the meantime, the city comes along and they say, this guard shack, it's not habitable. I think it didn't have
That's the
two
standard,
entrances.
yeah.
Two entrances, I think, was the problem. And so they said, get the people out. So the third-party management company, which had drawn up the lease and rented it to them, they sent them an eviction letter, and sure enough, people didn't get out. They kept living there. In fact, they kept paying rent. And the week before Christmas, they're doing meth and smoking in bed, and they burn the place down. They get out, but she goes back in for her purse, and she doesn't make it back out. And the state has literally charged my friend. I mean, this is the nicest guy in the world. He was my high school class president. They've charged him with murder 1. And they haven't had the trial yet. They've been kicking it down the road for a year because of COVID. And the lady's family, they're suing him. And the business structure is such that they can get that business. And they will get that business, which is going to wipe out his life's work, and it's going to wipe out the employment for his sons.